We are so very on time today. Oh my God, Garden Octopus, you're very on time today as well. I want this to go away. Is that not go lower than that? I guess not. Okay, let me go live on TikTok. Welcome. My eye has been twitching so bad recently, not to sound like Kourtney Kardashian, but you know. The chat on my screen is very behind. Let's try and refresh that, see if that works. How are we sounding? How are we seeing? How are we doing? How are we laughing? Eliza has subscribed with Prime. Thank you. There we go. Now the chat's working. Wondercatch John subscribed for 9 months. Sounds good. Looks good. Period. I like this pink right now. My little remote thing hasn't been working right, and I can't. Normally I can like make it stay pink. Here it is. But it's not working. Let's try. We should probably get started because we have a lot to talk about. I don't want it to be red. That's not what I wanted either. I'm just gonna turn it off and back on again. Oh, I'm wearing more merch. Fucking work, please. I feel like I smell bad. I think it's my hair. But what if I just want it to be on the mode of like whatever it wants to do? There we go. I'm hyped for this one. I've never watched Dance Moms. I have not seen all of Dance Moms, so you don't have to be a Dance Moms fan to enjoy this. Yeah, I used to be able to like make that stay pink, but oh, I hate the mode that it's on right now. Oh, I hate this one. Is that better? Is that the one that I like? Nope. This little guy has been pissing me off recently. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Is that better? No, not it. Do you see how mad I'm getting? Okay, anyway. Toddler in the Machines, thanks for subscribing. It is whack-a-doodle time. Is that the right mode? This isn't exactly what I wanted, but it's fine, I guess. Yeah, this is the one I wanted. Okay. You're so brave. The lights are hard. It's hard to be a woman in tech. Last day of school for this sub. Oh my God, congratulations. It is frickin' Wednesday, my dudes. Okay, let's go ahead and get started because we have a lot of clips to watch. Actually, I lied. Before we get started, more merch came in. I'm almost done. So I thought I was done, and I'm not because I need to form an LLC to be able to collect money through it's like just a long story. So I'm almost done. This is my favorite piece. The only thing I don't like about it is the white is a little bit see-through, so I just made it in black as well, so we're gonna see how that one goes. So if you have like, I have on like a skin-colored bra right now, so it like you can't tell it's see-through when you have a skin-colored bra on, but if you wanna go braless, I might recommend, you know, dealer's choice, up to you. Or that wouldn't be dealer's choice, I would be the dealer in this scenario. User's choice if you want to wear a bra with this or not. But anyway, here's my merch. It'll be coming out soon. It says the CIA is just a frat that took things too far. And then the beer can says MK Ultra. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back and watch my MK Ultra stream. Basically what happened is right after World War II, the government was like, we want to do mind control. So then they gave a bunch of people LSD without their consent. And it was just like a lot of really fucked up stuff, and the project was called MK Ultra. But I think MK Ultra also kind of sounds like a beer. And then my favorite part that I am sure this is going to get me on a list, and I'm sure I'm going to end up in prison because of this, but I think it's worth it. Like if one person buys this shirt when it comes out in a couple weeks, it'll be worth it. The back says I'm rushing CIA this fall, and then it has like my handles down there. So what do we think of it? Mr. Redacted LLC. I thought it said fart. Well, it's also because I think you guys are seeing it. Does it say fart? No, it says frat. It's also because you guys are seeing it backwards, I think. Okay. I would pay $50 for that shirt. It's going to be $23. I didn't want to make things like annoyingly overpriced because the quality of them is like very medium to me. Like it's not like Shein quality, but it's definitely not like super high quality. So I was like, I'm not gonna make people pay $50 for just like a medium quality shirt. You know what I mean? Where there'll be plus sizing, yes and no. So this design is going to be available in a lot of different things, and some products were available in plus sizes and some weren't. So not all of the tank tops, like this kind, the tight tank tops, I think they go up to XL. But I also have like a t-shirt. This is kind of like a workout material. The t-shirt material did have plus size inclusive sizing. So everything that is like on tank tops or stuff where the company just didn't have all the sizes I wanted, it's also available in like regular t-shirt or like tank top but t-shirt material. And then the other thing that I'm excited about is that they're also all available as tote bags because I love a fucking bag. And there's been a lot of times that I've wanted to buy someone's merch, but I didn't know if it would fit me, or I was like, I don't want to like wear someone else's thing, whatever. I don't know. I just feel like a bag is like a fun way to do it. So there's also going to be a couple of bags available. If you were here last week, you also saw last week's shirt, which is a tank top version of Mike's shirt. Okay, so this was the important part about the tote bags to me. And then we'll start, I promise. So I'm gonna use this chip bag. You see how this chip bag is just like two pieces and they come together? Like it's not a flat bottom. You know what I mean? Like there's not a third piece of bag right here to make it wide. Like if it was a box. You get what I'm saying? I fucking hate a tote bag that doesn't have that bottom piece. So all of them have a bottom piece because fuck off with a tote bag that doesn't have a bottom piece. Okay, no. That's a no from me. Okay, so now we're actually gonna get started. It's 7:37. That's really not bad for us. If you just got here, I may have been on time literally, but mentally I was not. For those of you that are on TikTok right now and I see you asking, is this on YouTube? Where can we see your screen? On Twitch is where you see my screen. It will be on YouTube tomorrow. Hopefully, sometimes the YouTube gods hate me, but I will warn you, we are gonna watch a lot of fucking clips tonight. So that YouTube recording is gonna be fucking botched to high heaven. Like the audio will probably get messed up. There's gonna be tons of little chunks missing. It'll just not be the experience you're gonna have live right now. So those of you that are watching this on YouTube right now, this is why I encourage you to come live. We get to do a lot more fun stuff over on Twitch than we can on YouTube, which is why I use Twitch. See, I wanted it to stay like this. But it's not. Whatever. And then, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, so that's how you see my screen is Twitch. Twitch is free for those of you that are on TikTok and are like, I don't want to make a Twitch. You do not have to pay to watch, but you do have to create an account. I think to watch it, you don't have to make an account. It'll let you just watch. But in order to log into the app or to comment or anything, you do have to have an account. But it's free to make an account. So... And you can set up your chat to be subscriber only where people have to pay to be in the chat, but I don't like doing that because, I don't know. I feel like because I talk about different stuff every week, there's probably people who you're not going to want to pay to subscribe, but you want to watch one time, you know? But anyway, this is my first stream featuring my iPad because I knew the YouTube would be so choppy. Thank you. I'm glad you're here live. My throat hurts really bad. A vape shop parking lot. Thank you for subscribing for 3 months. So... let's get into today's lesson. We see I love bunnies followed. Sorry, that just like really hit me. Oh, what's the link to live on Twitch? That's what I forgot to say. I'm a Walmart parking lot everywhere. If you just Google a Walmart parking lot Twitch, it should come up, but it's the first link on my link tree. It's linked on literally everything. 55 slides isn't bad. That's because we're going to watch hella videos. I knew that tonight would be a lot of videos. Quarter life crisis. I miss you. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. A TikTok Twitch pipeline. Kyla, not Kayla. Thank you both for subscribing. Okay, let me turn my noises on because I realized I can't hear. Okay, let's go. So before we get into tonight's lesson, I want to thank JB Morrissey. Their TikTok username is Tie-Dye Dragon. They are a content creator that really focuses on dance moms. They were extremely, extremely helpful while I was researching this. They sent me documents, answered my questions. It was so, so great to have someone who's already done a ton of research on this, who like, I don't know, seems like a similar vibe to me, kind of share their insights and their research. It made this process a lot easier and a lot faster, which is really nice because I was having kind of a rough week at work. And I just wanted to also talk about this because I think for the most part, and I tried to make a TikTok about this, but I couldn't get my words to sound right. And I know that you guys will know what I mean. I need to keep drinking water, sorry. Is there like a random lemon in here from 2 days ago? Anyway, the internet is usually a very anonymous place where people are really shitty to each other. And people are nasty to each other online, and they don't act like there's a person on the other side of the screen. So I think it's really fun when you have like a moment of community and humanity within the internet. And that's what happened with JB Morrissey and me, because I was researching for this stream, and one thing I like to do is watch some YouTube videos or listen to podcasts of people that have like talked about this topic. So I was watching her YouTube videos and I was like, wow, she put a ton of research into this. This is like incredibly detailed. And then in the video, she was like, oh, I made a TikTok about this, and then showed like her own TikTok in the video. And then I was like, oh, I should follow her on TikTok and like ask her questions about how she researched this or whatever. And then I look her up and realize that she already followed me, and I thought I had seen her stuff where she looked very familiar. So I realized she had already followed me, and then so I followed her, and then we were talking, and she was just so, so, so helpful. So I just wanted to give her a big shout out and say that her content is great as well. She has a 2-part video, The Rise and Fall of Abby Lee Miller. She was super helpful, and that video talks about a ton of stuff that we're not going to talk about. Her videos focus more on like the early years of the show, and today we're going to focus more on the court stuff, which she doesn't get into a ton of the details of within her videos. But nonetheless, she's very, very great at content creation. She was super helpful. Recommend that you follow her. Anyway, let's talk about Miss Abby Lee Miller. So, according to Abby Lee Miller's own website, sorry, I keep coughing. Everyone's sick at work, and I think I may be getting sick. Anyway, Abby Lee Miller's own website. Her mother, Mary Ann Lorraine Miller, was the one who started it all. Born Mary Ann McKay, she moved to Florida from Pennsylvania at 18 to open up her very first dance studio with the catchiest name, Swing and Sway with Mary Ann McKay. She ate with that title, and she knew that she did too. After owning and operating multiple successful studios in the Miami area, McKay moved back to Pennsylvania, married George R. Miller, and eventually gave birth to her only child, Abigail Lee. Abby Lee Miller being an only child makes so much sense. I just want to say that. Let me turn my brightness up. I cannot see shit, but I like the way my camera looks better when the brightness is down. 305. That is where I am right now. That is where I live. It is a place. We are here, and it's a place for sure. So Miller was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1965 to Marion Lorraine Miller and George R. Miller, we already said. Miller grew up in the Penn Hills, Pennsylvania, a Pittsburgh suburb, studying her mother's direction at the Mary Ann Lorraine Dance Studio. So her mom, like, had her girl boss era, comes back, is still running a dance studio, whatever. And then in 1980, Miller is given the responsibility of choreographing and coaching for one of her mother's competition dance teams. So Abby Lee Miller has really never had a job outside of dance, which I don't mean to insult her. It's just a fact. I think that only working in one industry your whole life, like, really breaks you. This might not be popular because I know a lot of teachers follow me, but I think that there is like you can tell when a teacher has not had a job that's not been teaching. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell when someone just like was in school and then went to college and then became a teacher and never worked at an environment that wasn't a school. Like, I feel like you got to get out there. You know what I mean? I think it's the same concept as like, it's really good to leave the town that you grew up in. Like, you just need to be exposed to lots of different things. Not to like shit on anyone's choices, but you know what I mean. There's a whole world out there. It's hard to do one thing forever. Yeah, exactly. The Abby Lee cycle of abuse. I'm a teacher, but I've worked in restaurants, retails, and dog grooming. Exactly. Like, you have worked in other businesses and seen how people treat each other, not at school. You know? Like, I think that's just a necessary part of life. I remember you saying on the podcast that you valued other work experience and teachers, and I've been saying it to other people ever since. You need to have a boss you're not related to. That too. People that have only ever worked for family, and they're like, but I had to work hard. That might be true, but it's different. You know what I mean? Multiple points of view. Exactly. My retail experience helps my teaching because people are fucking crazy everywhere. That's the biggest thing since leaving teaching that I've realized is that people are fucking batshit crazy and incompetent everywhere. You could go to the farthest corner of the farthest part of the planet and you can find a batshit crazy, incompetent person. They're everywhere. It's a plague. It really is. But anyway, back to Abby Lee Miller's family photos. Here's Abby Lee Miller. This is giving Florida. I don't know if they're like visiting Florida, but it's giving Florida. Here's Abby Lee Miller in, I think, high school. Here is a picture that she posted herself on Instagram. She posted this March 30th, 2020. She said, "Is this still a thing? Childhood pics? I was 14. My student Lisa was 8-9. She was the first kid I trained and booked a professional dance job right out of high school when Tokyo Disney Resort official first opened. This was truly the beginning. My students have done 17 plus contracts in Japan. BTW, her mother was nuttier than any dance mom you've seen on TV." Like, girl, what the fuck is he talking about? The way that she's like, she could have just posted a normal pic and been like, look at this childhood photo of me and one of the first girls I taught how to dance. But instead she had to be like, yeah, I coached her and then she went on to dance at Disney World. And in fact, I've coached 17 different people that have danced in Japan. Like, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Here is another pic of her. Here's with a trophy. And then here is a pic of her with one of the dancers. There's Miss Abby Lee. It was very difficult to find old photos of her, I will say. She's rattling her stats for her resume. Yeah, just this video. So here is a never before seen clip of Abby Lee Miller dancing. And again, for those of you on TikTok, if you want to see the videos and all that fun stuff, come to Twitch. It's the first link in my link tree. Thanks. It's not good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not watching it and I'm not thinking like, oh, this is good. You know, I am watching it and thinking it's not good. I'm not 100% sure if this is real. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But this is also what I want to say is that at no point has Abby Lee Miller said that she is a talented dancer. I think that teaching and doing are two very different things. You know what I mean? Like, I think you have to know how to do something to teach it, and you have to have done it, but you don't have to be great at it to teach it. No, I'll defend that video to the end. Not season 6 Maddie like she thinks it is. The routine I made up in my backyard as a kid, forcing my neighbors to hang out with me. Those who can't do teach. Sometimes. Same 4 moves over and over. I'm so dead ass. Because competitive dance has changed so much. The hands are giving gymnastics, not dance. Is it a deep fake? I don't know. It looks like the pics of her. And it had a fair number of views. I feel like someone would have called bullshit. Cut her some slack, guys. I'm not going to shade her dancing. She never said she was a good dancer. She never said that. This is real. Yeah, that's what I thought. What year was this? I have no idea. When you and your friends convince your mom for a sleepover. The lip syncing that she literally screamed at JoJo for. Okay. So, that is her dancing as a teen. Another thing that I saw online said, at age 13, she started her career as a dance choreographer and then proceeded to open the Abby Lee Dance Company at only 14 years old. Sorry, I just got tongue-tied. Proceeded to open the Abby Lee Dance Company at only 14 years old. Since her studio's opening in 1980, it's estimated she has taught 3,000 to 4,000 students. That, I think, came from her website or wiki fandom. The actual tea that I found out is that when she was 14, she was working at her mom's studio, and her mom was like, you can have a group of girls that you are the coach for and you'll be in charge of them. And that's what she called the Abby Lee Dance Company. So it was like a class within her mom's studio. I don't think, like, that's also still cool for a 14-year-old to do. Like, she didn't have to lie about that. You know what I mean? Like, I think it is impressive that at 14 you would have the ambition to want to choreograph dancers and take on this responsibility, because that's what she was saying. She was like, oh, we'll watch it in the video, you'll see. But that she, like, didn't have a childhood because she always at the studio, was at the studio after school all the time, whatever. Kelly Highland was one of her first students as well. Maybe she was trying to make it less confusing. I don't fucking know. Embellish that resume. Kelly was one of her students, but Kelly actually left to pursue cheerleading. Fun fact. So anyway, Abby Lee Dance Company was her little team within the mom's studio, and then Abby actually took ownership in 1987 when she was 22. And 22 is definitely young to be the owner of a dance studio, but 22 is not child labor at that point. And then she purchased the building that we see on TV in 1993 for $150,000, and then she named it Rain Dance Production in 1995. So that's kind of a timeline. Kelly leaving to pursue cheerleading is on brand. It really is. People never change. So that's kind of a general timeline of how she became the Abby Lee that she is or was, whatever. But anyway, here's an old ad from Rain Dance. So it says, the best just got better, introducing Rain Dance Production, an umbrella corporation, the Marianne Lorraine Dance Studio, that's her mom's studio, the Abby Lee Dance Company, that is her group within her mom's studio. And it was raindanceproductions.com. So this is kind of Abby Lee. Graphic design is my passion. This was also the 90s, to be fair. It was 1995. Not Brooke leaving the ALSC for cheer too. Cheer is grabbing them. Cheer's grabbing the girls. All right, so this is her video. It's 20 minutes, so we're not gonna watch the whole thing, but I wanted you to hear straight from Miss Abby Lee Miller. And then I put timestamps on here because some of the stuff was boring. Okay.
Focus on my schoolwork. I'm living in a house, my mom and dad. I work for them, I work with them. I'm an only child. There's no one else to buffer all this information. And every day I hear my dad complaining about the landlord. Now at this point, we're in a shopping center, in a strip mall, right across the street from the police station. We have the whole underneath, the downstairs, and you drive around. It used to be a post office, it was huge. I hear my dad complaining about the landlord. And they're billing us this, and they're billing us that. They would bill us for snow removal when it never snowed. I remember my dad calling the weather station, or somebody at our country club was the weatherman.
The sound
and
effects.
Getting the information from him.
This is her YouTube channel that she paid a production company to create these.
Did it snow? Didn't it snow? Was there an ice storm? What's going on? It was all because this guy was overbilling us. Then, get this, when someone moved out of the shopping center, all the other tenants that were still there had to pick up the tab on their rent. Like it got divided among all the other tenants. So
the reason I'm showing you this is because later she's going to talk about fraud, and I kind of just want to show you that like her money shit has been weird from day one.
Whenever somebody moved out, we were paying their rent for them. And I lived with this, and it just gnawed at me over and over and over again. And then a drugstore, famous name drugstore, moved in right above us. We were on the same meter for the light, the electricity, the light and everything. Same meter. They're open 24 hours a day. The air conditioning going full blast in the summer, 24 hours a day. And we're there 3 o'clock after school, closing at 10 o'clock at night. That was it. My dad was going to lose his mind. Now he's retired from his job with the railroad, and that was easy.
Like someone who said it in the chat, she talks about her life like it's the most important thing of all time. That is the best fucking way to describe Abby Lee Miller. The way she tells stories is like she was like the first female president. Like she acts like this is like her show playing in the background. I didn't even notice that.
Compared to dealing with these mothers. I think half the customers at our studio were just hiding how much they spent on dance tuition. Not that it was a lot, it was like $60 back then. But they didn't want their husbands to know. So they were paying in cash because they were taking a lot of the grocery money and all that stuff. It was crazy. But anyway, I grew up hearing this. It was like in my face every day, and my dad was upset about it. And like I said, he had perfect credit, every bill paid in full, no problem, and he just couldn't take this guy. And one time the guy came into the studio randomly on the weekend and said he was somebody's grandfather. He just wanted to see how much my dad did to the property, how much my
I don't know what the
family
fuck she's
invested
talking about.
in it, and putting the walls up and making the waiting room.
I'm just
and
gonna
doing
let it
this
go
and
to
doing that,
13.
because now he's gonna raise the rent, and we're not gonna leave because we put all this money into it. And this went on and on and on. He was a liar, he was a thief, he was a crook. We needed to get out of there. And even when I was a little girl and everybody got the dollhouse for Christmas, and they had these big colonials with the pillars,
Imagine smoking
I
a joint with her.
didn't want those dollhouses. I wanted something different. So I always was drawing and designing
The
and
fucking
doing
clips.
things. And before you know it, I had drawings for my own dance studio. Now,
What do you mean before you know it? I had drawings for my own dance studio. You were a child drawing. That's what. What do you mean before I know it? Like,
I need to find property. So right across from that country club where we went all the time growing up, it was right there, was a piece of land for sale. My mom and dad gave me their life savings.
that was
With
nice
that
of them.
money, I bought the land. And then they put their house up that was paid for. And I went to a bank and I was turned down. I went to another bank and I was turned down. I went to a
Noise
third bank.
effects.
Now you have to get turned down by 3 banks in order to go to the SBA. That third bank, well, the president of the bank was a member of the country club.
She's
And my
low key
dad
a part of
played
my dream
cheer.
rotation.
And my dad said,
So she's like low key on her Nepo baby vibe right now because banks kept turning her down for a loan. But then the president of the bank was her dad's country club friend.
oh, my daughter, she's going to these banks, she's getting turned down, we don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. That gentleman went to the bank the next morning and said, hey, this kid is going to come in here. She's going to need a loan. Give it to her. And we did. I borrowed $525,000 at, get ready, 9 3/4%.
That is an awful loan.
I say those numbers now, and it horrifies me. That day, I came out of that bank jumping and cheering, and this was it. I already owned the land. Now we're going to own the building. We're going to build it. I'm going to have an upstairs mezzanine, and those parents can look down and they can see just how bad their kid is. They're not going to complain anymore. They're
The way that her whole dream was for parents to look down and see how bad their children
not
are.
going to go to the front desk and say, why is my kid in the back? They're going to see it. They're going to see why their kid's in the back. Then the exciting part happened, Then it was the plans and
525K.
colors and picking paint out and picking, the flooring, state-of-the-art flooring. And nowadays you can call Stage Step. They can send it. It's already on the sponges, the wood, the whole thing. No, not back in the day. We had to make it. Those floors, my floors. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. He made those.
She's insane. Who is she talking
Now
about?
we have the dance studio. Right? It's still the Mary and Lorraine dance studio. My mom's like, no, put your name on it. No, put your name on it. No. I said, no, Mom, I want to keep the studio separate and the dance competition team will be my name. She was a legend in our community. Kids that took from her, now their children took, and then their children were going to take. It was one
My
of those
floors.
things. My dad, I'll never forget him. Some kid, some little brother, had a crayon, and the first week we were open, colored on a wall. My dad was great with kids. He loved kids. That woman got thrown out of our studio so fast and never was allowed to come back with that little kid. So now we had all these rules. If you have a sibling, a child, they're not allowed upstairs. Because people would just leave their kids back in the day. Oh, they're at the dance studio. They're fine.
Yeah,
They'd leave
I
and
do
go
believe
grocery
that.
shopping.
People would
They'd
leave
and
their
go to the
kids.
bank and leave their kids there. Not the kids who were in class. That's fine. Their other kids, they would leave there. It was crazy.
She's so
The
proud
day
of
we
her
were supposed
grant.
to open, Well, right for the 10th time the day we were supposed to open. The fire marshal came.
This is the
and
part I
wouldn't
want
let
you to
us
hear.
Open. But that extinguisher's not right, and that light switch isn't right, and that exit sign isn't right. What? It's in the drawings. You signed off on the drawings. Yes, it's right. It's exactly where you wanted it. Well, I changed my mind. Guess what? They all had their hands up. Everybody wanted, like, paid off. You hear those stories, but you never believe that it's true. One story, I have to tell. So the township made me put trees in. I had to buy 180
The drawing she made as a child.
of sidewalk to put in. Now, there's nothing on that side of me. There's nothing on my left. There's nothing on my right. It's just my building and land. Then there's a dentist, doctor's office that when Dance Mom started, they used it for the interviews. That's where all the interviews were set up. I had to put in 180 feet of frontage for the township. So the people that bought the land next to me, then they would start at the end of my sidewalk, they would start their
What is
sidewalk.
she talking about?
So this day, nobody's there. No, the sidewalk just ends. It's ridiculous. I wanted to put stars in the sidewalk. Here I am in LA, Hollywood Walk of Fame.
She's not in LA, she's in
Sidewalk.
Pittsburgh.
Stars. So I wanted to sell stars to the kids in my studio, to their parents. You could buy a star and it would be
This
in
is
that
low-key a
sidewalk,
good
right?
idea.
Wasn't allowed.
Like,
But
that's a good idea. I'm gonna
See,
grant
what
her
are you talking
that.
about? It's been there for years. Oh my God, it was just Pittsburgh. It was just so far behind. Okay, now they want to put trees in front of the sidewalk between my parking lot and the sidewalk. We're gonna put trees. So all the cars,
Did she start off talking about trees?
Right? that's
Yes.
what we're gonna do. They made me. I had to. And the trees
It gets so much
had to
weirder.
be a certain thickness.
Listen.
So what that means, you couldn't buy the little skinny cheap trees, the young baby trees. No, you had to buy mature trees that were very expensive. Now, all this stuff, that wasn't in the 525,000. No, this was all extra, way extra. I bought 38 trees. 38 trees were planted. The next morning, I get the urgent phone call. I jump in the car and
Just
drive
wait.
to my studio, which
Just
is
wait.
not even 10 minutes away. And there is mud all over the parking lot. 38 trees are gone. It looked like a war went on. Literally, 38 trees were stolen out of the ground.
What
You
the
know what?
fuck is she talking about?
I guess it was the police officer said to me, well, didn't you mark your trees with nail polish? What? Who does that? No one ever told me when you buy a tree and plant it in the ground, you need to take a little nail polish out there and mark the tree trunk. So if somebody steals it and tries to sell it back to you, you know if it was your tree. And sure enough, I had to buy 38 more trees and have them planted. And then pay for everything to get cleaned up.
Okay, so sorry that was 9 years long, but if y'all just needed to fucking see that. Like, y'all needed to experience that story because I feel like this just goes to show she has been so delusional and having so many business and money problems literally the entire time. I can't imagine trying to talk to her drunk. So, she's being Abby Lee Miller. So someone was asking when this was. This is back in like the early or mid 90s because she purchased that building in 1993. So at this point, if she was 14 in 1980, what's 14 plus 13? 27. So she's like in her late 20s-ish when this is all going on. So definitely like not easy as a 20-something myself to navigate laws and building codes and all of that. But I feel like how many mature trees did Abby buy? I should have made that a fucking question in the game. But anyway, I feel like this is a little extra in terms of what's going on. So then she's doing her thing. She has the dance company. She is working there, doing dance, whatever. Years are going on throughout the early 2000s. Like we already said, she was a successful dance teacher before the show. Then, December 3rd, 2010, Miller files for bankruptcy after owing more than $400,000 in back taxes to the IRS. So, back taxes means that is taxes that you owe from the past. So, like if Miss Redacted could not pay her taxes in the year 2021, I would be owing back taxes. So, this is before Dance Moms. This is before she's famous. She's declaring bankruptcy in 2010. Keep in mind, it is the height of the recession at that time. So, a lot of people, especially business, like people that own their own businesses, were struggling financially. And if you think about, like, if you are really struggling with money and you got laid off, paying for your kids' dance is not at the top of the priority list. Things like mortgages and groceries are generally higher than dance bills. So I can see where the recession probably hit her pretty rough, you know? Especially with how expensive dance is. I guess that tree theft really uprooted her finances. Exactly. And it's not like, so the reason I want to just give you the backstory of her weird fucking business woes is because she is clearly not in a good financial position to begin with. She had a massive amount of debt. She had not much in savings. She had gone and like really stretched herself thin to open this. Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. She has a lot going on. Dancing isn't cheap to being. $400K in back taxes. How much did she make? She needs a business manager. Exactly. Well, that's the other thing is that a lot of times people will owe a lot in back taxes because they are not good at doing their taxes and they don't keep track of things because they're not good business people. So for example, she could probably write off a lot of stuff. It's a dance studio. You have to buy supplies, you have to pay staff, all that. There's a lot of things that are business expenses that she could be writing off. I bet she was not doing a great job of organizing her business and figuring out how to manage her money effectively to minimize her tax burden. Y'all don't even know. Like, I actually know things. Like, I know I seem stupid, but I'm kind of smart. Actually pissing myself over uprooted. Oh, yes. I see it now. I see the pun. Those trees really uprooted her finances. Very funny. So, that is really good, actually. But anyway, I could see where she kind of got herself in this situation because if your business is pulling in $900,000 but you're spending $700,000, and you don't like manage your money and write stuff off on your taxes, you're gonna owe a lot of money even though you didn't make that much money. Does that make sense? Because if you don't do a good job of bookkeeping, you don't actually know how much profit you're making. And you don't actually know what you can write off and what your business expenses were. So it makes it hard to do your taxes and like not fuck yourself. So like my tax guy yells at me because I will be like, here's my money, and then I send him like Twitch will give me a report of how much they gave me each month so I can pay taxes on that money. And he's always like, okay, Mr. Redacted, how much money have you spent? And I never buy anything. So he always gets mad because I never buy anything. I really need to like get ahead. It's already been 38 minutes. But anyway, so details about the bankruptcy. Miller filed a Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Pennsylvania just a few months prior to the show debuting. She claimed debts of excess of $400,000 and assets of $325,000. One of her largest creditors was a Chase mortgage, which she owed $200,000 mortgage on a residence in Florida that was only valued at $150,000. So I guess she had like a vacation home. And then her Pittsburgh dance studio was valued at $150,000 with a $96,000 mortgage. Past due real estate taxes totaled nearly $30,000, and she owed more than $32,000 to business vendors that dealt with the studio. In all, she listed 34 creditors in her Chapter 11 petition. Miller blamed business slowdown for her problems in errors on real estate taxes and mortgage problems that were sending her into foreclosure. So that's her mother's home in Florida. Thank you. So that's another thing that a lot of people get into tax trouble on is real estate taxes, because even if you own the building and you like are done paying off your mortgage, you still have to pay taxes on the building. When did she file Chapter 11? This is in 2010. So according to a source, Miller had been battling financial issues for years. Before the show, we'd show up at the studio on Saturday afternoon, and sheriffs would come post notices saying they were going to shut down the studio for unpaid taxes, a hometown source of Penn Hills, Pennsylvania, told People magazine. They would be pinning the notes. And this is what I heard in like YouTube and Reddit land, is that on more than one occasion when the sheriffs were like, we're going to shut you down for not paying your taxes, Melissa whipped out her checkbook and was like, oh, I'll fucking get you. Like, we're good. Everything's fine. And Melissa would pay off the people. Well, not pay off, it's taxes, but you get what I'm saying. At the time, Miller's attorney told People, I can confirm the studio was scheduled for sale for unpaid taxes. So this email from 2010, I think, is extremely, extremely telling. It's in all caps, written to, I guess, a colleague of hers. It says, sorry, I cannot call you. My phone has been shut off, and for the second time that my bill's $1,000, I can't pay it. And even if I could, I have to go there to Verizon and find out why after the last time I spent 7 hours there to get it all straightened out. And the cheapest plan put in place for me, bill is still outrageous. The only source of communication I have is email. ... Feel free to talk to me through this. So again, this is in 2010. Like, this is not even in the Dance Moms era. This is before. Oh, Melissa is one of the Dance Moms. We'll talk about Melissa in a second. But this is before she's even on the show. The all caps is really funny to me. And you know who I think we need to get an interview with is the Verizon employees that were in the store for 7 hours with her before she was famous. Yes, Melissa is Maddie's mom. Because I have a feeling that she was not less crazy before she was famous. I think she was probably crazy then as well. I don't know, I just think it's really funny. Okay, so here is some tweets from former Dance Moms. Some of them have been like on the show for a little bit, but none of them are like on the show. So this woman, Diane, said, is it true that at one point Abby's studio had no running water and electricity and she begged parents to pay her bills? And then Diane Pent, the woman from that email, who I guess is a parent, I don't fucking know, said, Yeppers, my husband took care of the studio, no gas, no electric, no phone, no Abby. And then Dawn, who I think she was on the show, she said, yes, it was wonderful as our children danced to have the sheriff arrive and Melissa whip out her checkbook. This is Brandon's mom and Minister Dawn. Yeah, so Minister Dawn is in the beginning of the show. Christy had Minister Dawn on her podcast. Diane Pent is a mom from the Abby Lee Dance Company. Yes, thank you. See, I told you I haven't seen the show. We're going to be talking about more legality than actual like plot line of the show. But anyway, both these people have been out. She gets kicked out 1 minute in. Yeah, Minister Dawn gets kicked off the show very, very quickly. But the interview with Christy that she did is really good, and she kind of explains like her side of the story, which I thought was interesting. But anyway, in 2011, that is when Dance Moms started. Miller began appearing on the Lifetime reality show Dance Moms, where she had taught dancing for many years. So here is her with the girls in season 1. I just can't get over how tiny Mackenzie is. Like, Mackenzie is just so little. She should have been protected more. But anyway, Dance Moms, the original idea had nothing to do with Abby Lee Miller. Even though Abby Lee Miller is kind of the star of the show, the original idea was an open casting call, and they just wanted to focus on the moms. So it began with a casting call. Following the success of Toddlers and Tiaras, the producers were trying to think of a concept that would focus on competitive dance. One of the ideas would show a new dancer and their parent each week, and then the viewers would have the opportunity to see all of them compete against each other at a national competition. I think that is kind of a vibe. I would watch that show. And while nearly all of the original cast of Dance Moms hailed from the Abby Lee Dance Company, the first casting call was not exclusive to Miller's studio. In a recent YouTube video, Christy Luxiak, this is, what's her name? Chloe's mom. Christy is Chloe's mom. Christy revealed that it just so happened that the casting director for Dance Moms liked all the moms that came from a particular studio. He loved that the moms had history with one another and were referencing each other in their audition tapes. So they didn't even really know who Abby Lee was. The only reason they were drawn to her studio is because they were like, oh, these moms seem to know each other really well. And in Christy's interview podcast thing with Minister Dawn, that seems like the case. She was saying before the show, they were all very close. Like they would go out to dinner all the time. They would babysit each other's kids, whatever. Luke Kazak. Thank you. Okay, so this is an interview with Christy. All of our tapes, we weren't just talking about Dance and our daughters. We were all talking shit about each other. And he was like, hold on a minute here. But when did Miller come into the picture? It wasn't until filming began that producers realized that Miller was such an intense personality and the show concept shifted, and then she became one of the main focal points. So she didn't even really audition. They just kind of started filming and they were like, oh, the teacher is insane. That is not an angle. The chat trying to get you to say the name is so funny. I've given up. They came in, they saw the teacher was crazy, and they were like, that is not an angle that we had anticipated, but we are really going to run with that. So it just started going, and once we started filming the studio, they realized that there was another person in the studio who made for amazing television. And that's kind of when the show evolved into a dance teacher and the team and the moms. Especially after Miller was thrown into the equation, the executives at Lifetime knew that the story would be a great success. And as they say, the rest is, as they say, history. The Dance Mom producers came to us and they were like, listen, the network wants more episodes. And we were like, wait, it was supposed to be 6 episodes. And they were like, yeah, no, they think this is going to be a great show. And we were like, it's not even aired yet. And they were like, doesn't matter. They think it's great. They want more episodes. So we're going on the road this summer. So that's kind of how, what was your Tumblr URL? That is more personal than asking someone their social security number, and I cannot reiterate that enough, and I don't even know. I don't remember. I had like a funny one and then like an emo one. You know. Anyway. Stopped you dead in your tracks. That like, don't do that. So anyway, there's no denying that Miller's teaching style and penchant for drama helped make Dance Moms a success. However, if the Moms from Her studio hadn't been the one to catch the casting director's eye, the studio never would have gone to her in the first place, or the show never would have gone to her in the first place. So I just wanted to give some context for like timeline of the show. So remember, I only asked because you look like someone I followed. Oh, okay. I never posted like pictures of myself on Tumblr, so it definitely wasn't me. But anyway, some context about the show. So when Abby filed for bankruptcy, remember that was in 2010. The first episode aired July 13th, 2011. So that bankruptcy thing was before she even knew she was going to be on TV. And then you can see the show kind of went 1 season per year. And then there's a big break from 2017 to 2019. That is when all of the shit happened with her going to prison, which we are going to talk about. But just if you don't watch it, kind of wanted to give you context. It is 8 seasons. So here is a list of like the cast, I guess. Sorry, I keep burping. What's happening to my body? I actually feel like my body's been shutting down the last week, but it's fine. So here's the cast. You can see it's kind of changed throughout the show. Melissa is the mother of Maddie and Mackenzie. She was on seasons 1 through 6. Christy is the mother of Chloe. She is on 1 through 4 and 7. Holly is the mother of Nia. She is on 1 through 7. There is no one that appears to have made it through the entire thing. And then Kelly was Brooke and Paige's mom. Kelly is actually Abby's former student. They made it through 4 seasons. And then Kathy, Vivianne's mom, was on season 1 and then was like a reoccurring side character. And then Jill and Kendall were on seasons 2 through 7. So then you can see season 8, they have a bunch of random people. And JoJo Siwa was on it. So JoJo Siwa was on seasons 5 and 6 and then was a guest on season 8. So that's kind of who is who. We're really not going to talk a ton about the plot of the show. We're not going to talk about the girls at all, but just wanted to give you context of who everyone was. So this is from Reddit. The girls never auditioned, but were thrown together as a group because their mothers were hired. Mackenzie danced with the minis, Brooke with the olders, and the other girls danced in their own real team. Brooke, Chloe, and Maddie were the serious dancers, already having won crowns and titles. Christy and Melissa uploaded 20-second clips of Chloe and Maddie dancing for the producers, who decided to show the girls dancing. It is unknown if the other mothers did the same. After production put up motivational signs and black and black paper over the mirror in Studio A and created the pyramid, the viewers would immediately know the girl's name and face. They filmed the first 6 episodes. Production came back and said that they needed 6 more and that they needed 4 new dances for every single week. So, unfortunately, I wanted to talk more about this. So anyway, these girls were not in a group together. One thing that I always found weird about the show is that normally these girls wouldn't be on a team together because they're different ages. So it doesn't really make sense for them to be on like a group together. It just doesn't make sense. But now that you see that the show was about the mom, and then when they filmed it, they were like, we need more with these people, how they kind of put that group together. That's why the dynamic was so off. Salmon Sounds, thank you for subscribing. So, other thing about them first joining the show is that apparently none of them had good lawyers and the contracts sucked. So apparently in season 3, the dance moms like walked out and refused to be on the show because they wanted more money. Also, the issue of having the girls be in class and training them to learn these new routines caused a lot of turmoil between Abby and the moms, and the travel to competitions across the country caused Kathy to decide to leave. And then the fall of 2011, Jill got a call from Abby to apply with Kendall from the show as they were hired to replace Vivian and Kathy. So, the contract sucking tracks. Yeah, apparently they did not make very much money. We'll talk about that later. Oh, we'll talk about that now. So how much was the cast getting paid? Christy revealed in a Q&A that the moms were only compensated $600 for filming season 1, which they were expected to share with their children. And according to reporting by US Weekly in 2015, Miller claimed that the girls were receiving $1,000 an episode in season 4, and then it was upped to $2,000 for season 5. So I guess when they had that season 3 walkout, that's why they started getting paid more. So US Weekly reports that in 2015, Miller, I already put that in there, sorry. She herself was earning $1,500 an episode. So it seems like there's some discrepancy in some of the numbers here and the timeline, but no matter what, this is not making that much. Like, that is not much to make per episode. Lots of celebrities, and even like not big celebrities, like reality TV people make like $20K an episode. That's very normal. So, one of the original cast members, Chloe, recounted in a YouTube video saying that her busy schedule of school, filming scenes for the show, and learning and rehearsing multiple dance routines every week, just one of the weekly pyramids would take multiple hours to capture on take. So these girls were fucking working. And even dancers that I know that are not on TV, dance is a huge commitment. You're there every day after school for hours and hours and hours. So imagine filming on top of that. No. So, like I said, during season 3, the moms banded together and refused to film for the show until they received better pay negotiations with the show's production company. Unbeknownst to most fans, this was edited into Dance Moms season 3, episode 2 to make it look like the moms were protesting Abby Lee Miller's outsing of Kelly Hyland and her daughters instead of a challenge to the crew. Both Miller and Hyland confirmed the deceptive editing trick on Twitter after the fact. So I guess Lifetime was like, we don't want people to know that we're not really paying you, so we're just gonna make it look like it's some drama. It's fine. So before we get into like the legal mess and her doing fraud and all of that stuff, I want to take a look at some of the like insane iconic moments from Dance Moms, partially because I think it's funny and partially just to set the context for who these people are. So this is a compilation video of Abby's craziest moments.
You know what? Abby. The kid needs somebody. She's not that swift.
How dare you?
She's not.
How
She
dare
needs
you?
help. She needs you to be here.
Oh, we're gonna watch the Kelly Abby fight.
You think you're up here?
We're gonna watch the Kelly Abby fight, and we're also going to go into all of the legal discourse around the Kelly and Abby fight, just to let you know.
Because you have a doctorate and everybody else is
That's
down
your
here.
problem, Abby. You
I
were
love Holly.
intimidated by me because I am a doctor.
Bull.
Oh, Abby, don't be ignorant.
Please, that's it. No.
Which team, may I ask? Which team? Well, honey, it's hard to hide that body. Which? Get out! Oh my God! Louder! Louder! Get out! Louder! Louder! Go! Fly away, guys! Fly away! We have to take the trash. That's all, Abby. That's all. Because I have not.
Sexual awareness.
Some of it's kind of fucked up because of copyright.
You can't count to 8? I'm gonna try to stop this right.
This is my favorite part.
Oh my god.
When this light turns red,
This is
I'm gonna
wild.
stop them from turning.
Abby has absolutely lost her mind.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
She's directing the traffic out there.
Thank you. Your mother's proud of you. Get ready.
We're not doing this. Our kids aren't dancing in the street.
It's this.
Nope.
This
We're
is
not
so
dancing in
fucked
the
up.
street.
Look, and I made it. Go, it's a red light.
No, no. JoJo, no.
Just go. Shut up. You're such a wuss.
Trying to control the streets of
Wait a
Pittsburgh.
minute. 1 minute. 1 second, please. If you hit me, please hit me.
No, this is in LA. Oh, this is the LA studio.
We were fine with whatever, and moms wanted hip hop. So this
Second moms don't rule the dance studio, you idiot. They don't. If every mother walked into every studio and did as they damn please, no one would run a business. But you don't know anything about that. You work for someone else. She should just do her job. Abby, where are you going? You trying to sneak out? The group dance is not done yet. Don't run me over. The group dance is not done. Where are you going? She'll run you over. She'll run you over. Be careful.
She'll run you over. Be careful.
Let's go.
Staying with me.
You're an uneducated mess. Quit drinking. Your mouth, you cow.
No, I don't care.
You are now a disgusting, illiterate. You should have
You are a disgusting illiterate.
Sell her kid.
She would sell
Tom,
that.
Dick,
I
or Harry on the street corner. No, I don't care what you want. It's not about what you want. I don't know
came
who
in
you
here.
are, but you shouldn't be in this dressing room.
I brought her in here with me.
I know, but why are you in here? You're
I
in the
came in
school
here.
suddenly. You didn't ask. You
It
didn't say,
doesn't
excuse me,
matter.
Abby, could I speak to you?
Here's
You
the
just,
thing.
I want.
I came
I
in
want
here
you
to
out
be
of
a
here.
good sport, so I
Go,
made her be
go,
a
go,
good sport. Don't shock her.
And your jacket should be longer than your shirt. And you can't remember to turn your feet out. Huh? That's pathetic. Go somewhere else. Take your money. Take your socks. Find another school.
Does it not hit in your head that maybe you're wrong?
This is Minister
No,
Dawn.
I get it.
I don't get it. I know I'm right.
Why are you right?
Your kid still needs to point her feet. Kathy,
Oh.
go to hell.
Abby.
Kathy, go to hell.
I rest my case.
Talk to your wife
Thank
like
you.
that. And
Thank
talk
you.
to another woman
Thank
like
you.
that.
I don't talk to my wife like that because my wife wouldn't talk to children like that.
Me to get your kid back. I want this kid with me. I don't want her with you. Sleeping with some guy you're not even married to. No.
Sleeping with some guy you're not even married to.
Go to the movie theater. It's so fun.
In little kids' faces.
Yeah. Mom's gonna have my money. Mom's gonna have my money.
What money? I don't have her money.
Swaggy Lee is in the house.
Not Swaggy Lee.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Get off my back. If they want hip hop, I will give them hip hop. The ALDC. I said, Brooke, is your mom?
Okay, so now we're gonna watch. Oh wait, before we watch the Kelly Abby fight, is Abby crazy for TV or is she just crazy in general? I think that she is just crazy in general. As proof, I would like to submit to you this TikTok video. It's giving prison Mike. Oh my God, it really is. So this is pre-Dance Moms. This is from before Dance Moms was a
So if you
thing.
haven't watched Christy's latest podcast on Christy's Couch, you need to run, not walk, and go watch it like right now because there's some tea. Anyway, if you have watched it, I have a gift for you. So my mom said that
This is
we
Minister
still
Dawn's
have
kid,
Abby's
Reagan.
Christmas gift that she gave us when I was like 10. And she gave this to everyone in the studio if you were like 7 and older.
7 and older. 7.
I'm gonna unpackage it. So this is actually the original bag that it came in. It even says small at the bottom.
Why are you
And-
crying? If you yell at me, I'm gonna cry.
Yup. She gave this to us. I was 10. I didn't even know what this was. I had no idea. So the little puff balls are a bit deflated, but still have it. So yes, Abby Lee Miller gave me.
So she got a lot of flack on the show for over-sexualizing the kids, and that seems like to be a very consistent theme for her, is over-sexualizing small children. And yes, this will be on YouTube, but most of these clips will get cut because of copyrights. So sorry about that. So, dance teacher was crazy as fuck. I think production pushed that also. Yes, I think so too. Because they had one episode where the girls were like Vegas showgirls and they were wearing like nude colored outfits to make it kind of look like they were naked, which is like, they're small children. What the fuck? This came up when I did my stream on reality TV. Because I had a video that was like insane reality TV moments, and that was in there, and I stopped the video in the stream because I was like, this is fucking weird. I am not comfortable watching this. And apparently that video where the girls looked super naked was like the highest rated video they'd ever, or the highest rated episode that they had ever had. And then people were like, that's weird. And now it's like taken off of streaming platforms and stuff like that. I think it's still on YouTube, but not the whole, like, it's obviously it's the internet, so stuff's gonna be places, but it's not on any streaming platforms because people are disgusting. So anyway, this is the first pyramid. We will be watching the fight that is in a couple of slides. So here's the first ever pyramid.
All right, girls, it's the
And so once you realize, like, so I remember watching this and being like, this is normal. They are at dance class. But now that I know that this team is not actually a team and they're all just like randomly shoved together, this scene is so awkward and you can totally tell that they were all shoved together. Also, two things. Yes, they are all super tiny. They look like babies. And two, someone earlier mentioned the racism that Holly and Nia faced. That is fucking horrifying. How awful they treated Holly and Nia on this show is horrifying. I easily could do an entire stream just talking about the racism that they experienced, but it is so, so, so bad. Chloe said this wasn't a thing before a show. Exactly. This is the first time they've ever done pyramid, and it's on camera.
first day of rehearsal for the new competition season. Ladies, you all know why you're here. You are the cream of the crop in your age group, and I have lots of new ideas in store. I am going to do something that no other studio in the country does. Every single competition, we are doing a new routine. Girls, don't look at your mothers.
Don't look at your
I
mothers.
am the coach. I am the teacher.
Sometimes when Abby yells, it makes me laugh because her face turns red.
I can make you or I can break you.
I mean, most dance studios at least practice for 6 months before they go on stage and perform their routines. I think it's crazy that we're going to learn a dance in a week and compete it.
At the beginning of each week, I have kind of like a pyramid thing where everybody's always trying to get to the top of that. Everybody wants to be on top, of course, but you have to work for it. It goes on behavior,
New
work
dance
ethic,
every week was wild.
attendance, as well as have they followed all the rules. You know, all of that goes into who's going to be the
Maddie,
top of the
Chloe,
pyramid
Paige,
who's
and
gonna
Mia
get to
were in the
compete
same
next
class.
weekend.
Yes, they're all around the
Everybody
same
wants
age.
to be front and center. I hear it all the time.
She puts these kids in a pyramid. It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare for a child and an adult because we have to stand by and take it.
Whoever is in the front and center.
One thing I hated about the moms on the show is they were like, this is a nightmare. We have to stand there and take it. You're an adult. You pay to come here. You can leave. Like, is she gonna kill you?
You can't make a mistake. They are holding that group together.
Everybody always wants to be on the top. Usually, if you're on the top of the pyramid, you're in the front line.
JoJo
So,
Siwa
at
was
the
on
top
in
right
season
here, I
like
have
4 or
Maddie
5. This is
because
season 1.
she is dedicated and because of her stellar record last year.
And Maddie's on the top, and Nia's on the bottom. And I'm a little crushed for Nia.
I love Holly.
Maddie, are you ready to be front and center? Can you handle that pressure?
I always feel bad because my daughter seems to always get on the top.
Shut the fuck up,
girls just,
Melissa.
You know, they don't really like it. The moms hate it.
Our first competition is going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. Ladies, I chose Phoenix, Arizona because I want you to experience some of the best competition teams in the country.
Is Phoenix
We
known
are
for
going
that?
to do 2 new numbers. a high energy, really cute, adorable routine with Maddie, Chloe, Paige, Brooke, and Nia. And then also a trio with Maddie, Chloe, and Paige. Unfortunately, Mackenzie, you're too young to compete at West Coast Dance Explosion, but you're still going to go with us anyway. Girls,
Mackenzie's
we are
like
going to win
4.
in Phoenix.
Like, why is
And the next
Mackenzie
competition
here?
we're going to win, and the next competition we're going to win, and that's all gearing up for nationals. Everything we do from this point forward, all this training, all this competing is about the nationals. So let's get to it. We are going to begin the choreography. So moms, you can be dismissed. And girls, let's go to nationals and bring home the winning trophy. All right.
So that's the very first pyramid, and as you can tell, the vibes are just literally terrible from the beginning. Is Mackenzie old enough to spell her name, or at this point, like, she's so small, exactly, and they're making her perform in national competitions. This is a season 3 pyramid, just so you can kind of see the evolution. I only watched Dance Mom season 1, 2, and 3, so I stopped watching after this point.
Alrighty. We went to Youngstown, Ohio to Intensity Dance. We won.
Highest scoring group, red carpet special.
We should have won. You're national champions. Let's move on to the pyramid. I have Chloe. Chloe, remembering your choreography. That is what you need to work on. Write it down. Maybe if you write it out, it'll sink in. Try that.
This week, Abby has Chloe at the bottom of the pyramid because she forgot her solo. And you know what? For once, I can't really argue with Abby because Chloe did forget her solo and she's
Weren't
getting
a lot
older
of these
and she needs to
competitions
take
fake?
responsibility
Yes
for
and
her
no.
actions. She forgot.
So yes, I guess. So,
Next, Nia. Nia, you don't apply the corrections. That's what you need to do. Try writing them down.
the way our solution to everything is write it down.
Mackenzie. Mackenzie, when I took you out of the group, I gave you this cute little part to do. And thank goodness it was humorous. Because had they started timing our number, we would have been disqualified. And the Abby Lee Dance Company is not going to get disqualified. All she had to do was grab this rope.
I like how she's like, all she had to do was grab this rope and then proceeds to show this child that weighs like 20 pounds having to roll out this very large carpet on her own that she only had a week to rehearse. This is probably the first time she did it. It's not like they do dress rehearsal.
Across the stage.
And
She kept
clearly
getting
it gets
stuck.
stuck.
I will never forgive Mackenzie for what she did.
I will never forgive Mackenzie for what she did. You mean a small child struggling to do a task? That's what you will never forgive?
She made a mockery of the beginning of that routine. You will not be in the group numbers going forward.
So
Not until it's appropriate
unnecessarily
for you.
violent.
Understood? And Paige, you got the featured part. You had the big jump, the tilt. Wow. You could have made that fabulous, but you didn't do that. You were given an opportunity, and instead of running with it, it was mediocre.
I think
Mediocre.
Abby takes her frustration out on the kids. Like if Abby's mad at me, she takes it out on Paige. Just because I don't want to be there, that should not be any reflection on
Me
me.
killing myself
Next.
during the period.
Maddie, you were good. I noticed you have the Sophia hairdo. How about we have the Sophia energy? The Sophia turns. Oh, not worry about the hairdo.
I think there's enough pressure on Maddie without being compared to Sophia. But now I know how the other moms feel when Abby does it to their children.
Next,
I
Henry.
hate Melissa.
You were in the front. You were given a correction 100 times. Did you keep up with Sophia? I don't know. And at the top of the pyramid is Sophia.
I think like the ceiling was going to cave in at the Abby Lee Dance Company because Maddie was not on the top of the pyramid. It was Sophie.
Why is Melissa in full glam for
Kind of a
dance
given.
practice?
She won the high score overall, 9 to 11-year-old. And she won the entire competition. She was the high score of the day. Sophia is still a part of this team, and she will remain on the pyramid. Just because she's in LA shooting a movie, that's just another feather in my cap. This weekend, we will be traveling to Greensboro, North Carolina. We will be attending Dance Troop Challenge.
Okay, so that's a season 3 pyramid. Now here is a compilation of some of the physical fights from Dance Moms.
Oh, well, she's leaving.
Wait, she's leaving?
She's yelling in my face saying that I was bullying.
Yolanda, I swear I'm gonna kill somebody. I want to go out there too, but I'm gonna watch the kids.
That is me as fuck. I want to go out there too, but I'm gonna watch the kids. Holy shit.
She just attacked me. She literally went to my neck. You are going to jail.
Happy? Let's get this kid and put her against Mackenzie.
You know what you get? You know what? Don't you dare talk about that kid.
Fight, fight.
You talk about my kid. Oh, shut up, Jill.
Yes, I'm on
What
Twitch.
you have on doesn't matter. Disrespectful, and that's why your children left. Now you know how it feels.
Oh, big boy. You were on milk before.
You're too busy digesting that crow you had to swallow.
Oh, I didn't swallow any crow. My child just went out there and
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you still lost.
who was the little girl that showed up for 16 counts?
I'll go get her for you. I'll let her show you what she can do. Where's Ayla?
Oh no.
So, Happy, no one
Do you
wants
think if I
you
throw this
here.
one in the
Shut
woods?
your mouth. Shut your mouth. That was good.
No, I didn't mean to.
Let me see it.
I didn't mean to do that.
No, I thought the witch would melt. No, I'm silly. I apologize. I didn't even know the lid was
You
on.
know what? Because I didn't mean to do that either. If Christy can come after me. Oh my God, you are
You're gonna hit me
such
with your
a
purse?
bitch.
Holy.
Fine. I got 100.
You know,
Come on, bring it on, bitch.
don't do it.
That woman just hit me.
Go ahead. Water doesn't hurt me. Grow up.
You grow up.
Get a life.
You are such
Don't
a
say anything about my child ever again.
Jill, it's a
You
shut your
don't
mouth.
deserve
Shut your mouth. You're too big. You know what? You're so too big, Jill. It's not even funny.
Get lost, bitch.
I'm shocked.
I think the reason I'm incapable of like keeping a job is because I watched stuff like this as a kid, so I think this is normal adult behavior. So when in a meeting, I'm like, and you're a liar, and I can pull up the email to prove it, and everyone freaks out. I'm like, that was literally nothing. Like, I didn't even fucking hit anybody. Like, my bar for normal is not okay because of these shows.
That Asia and Christy are leaving. But what I'm more shocked about is that Leslie thinks that by Christy leaving, that opens the door for her to take her spot on the team.
I need another drink, so I'm gonna meet you guys down there with my.
Drinks are flowing. You know, we have one or two, but Christy has been drinking all day, and Leslie has been drinking all night.
Not New
You better grab
Orleans.
Christy. She's going up.
When she said Kendall should be
So
Rosa
full of
Parks,
herself.
my little
She
Kendall.
needs to just shut up and be grateful for what Abby does for her and her child.
Sorry, I'm a real dance mom, and I will stand here.
Why are you yelling at us?
I'm not. I'm
yelling
talking to my friends.
Then you're yelling at her. You had too much to drink.
Oh,
You better
whatever.
settle with that. Bitch.
Stop, bitch, stop.
Who's that guy? Oh, he's a crew. I thought it was just like a street band.
I'm gonna interrupt you. I've heard every word you guys have said. This is my studio and I'm not going anywhere.
Honey, if I had lived the size of Texas, I would.
She fucking
Get her out.
walled
Their
her.
behavior is deplorable. They are an embarrassment to the Abbey Lee Dance Company, an embarrassment to me. Come out and you apologize to this woman, or the kid gets taken out of the dance and there's no solo. That's it.
Okay, Choker, did 30 million kids vote for your kid for Teen Choice? My daughter did 3 movies in the last year. She wrote a book. She won Teen Choice. You choked people because that's classy.
I didn't
Yes,
choke
you
her.
did. You choked your BFF.
Nothing happened. Witnesses saw it. That's exactly what happened.
Excuse me, that's defamation when you say it was choking.
Oh.
She just simply had her hands right there.
Resting.
Resting.
I hold my friends like this too. Holly,
Yeah.
how are you today?
Wow.
This is a warm and friendly touch.
hug.
Wow. Where's mine? No, that one's mine. Chloe, then why don't you stop talking about her? Stop saying her name. Does Chloe have a solo? Yolanda, I would tread very lightly. Like, I have dealt with bigger, badder, meaner, drunker.
Season 7 was unhinged. It was amazing. Platonic choking.
And my daughter's been doing amazing things, and I finished what
I
started.
love the people on TikTok that can't see the video, but they know what it's from because they know the show so well.
Really sorry. I promise you that this is a competitive dance competition. Right. Grab your phone. I'll take a picture with you because I know.
I got a Hollister.
I don't even, honestly, all of your best fantasies are to be me. You're not me. Never gonna be me. Your kid's never gonna be Chloe. Never.
Watch on
gonna
Twitch,
be.
it's better.
Never gonna be me. I'm done. Done. A lot of defensive nature. Get away from me. Go away. Get away from me. Go away. Get the away from me.
Okay, so I want to get into the iconic Abby and Kelly fight. This is my favorite Dance Moms moment ever. I think this is from season 4. We're gonna watch probably the whole
Cross
thing.
the line. And I just said to Kalani in the other room, I said, well, you might have to just do a solo.
Well, maybe you should replace her.
I don't know what happened, but Kelly started to talk about Kalani replacing Brooke in the group dance. That was never my intention. Brooke is part of this team. She's been in my company forever. She has a right to do the dance. Brooke, is your mother
But we come as
speaking
a
for you?
team. We're all leaving.
Brooke, is your mother speaking for you? Do you not want to dance? I just want your mother to quit speaking for you. You're 15 years old. Grow the hell up.
You know what? You shut the hell up.
The way that Brooke wasn't saying anything and Abby's like, grow the hell up.
See how she talks to me?
Abby, if you're not happy with my kid because she doesn't sit here and smart mouth you and say something bad, we will leave.
That's fine.
Kelly, why? I'm
You know
just
what?
asking.
Don't even
I'm
speak
just
to me.
asking.
Don't even speak to me.
Oh, why can't I speak to you?
Because I don't want to speak to you.
We're coming into this all new. And so I just want to know what we're getting into.
A bully for a teacher. Here's your costumes. Enjoy the dance. It's Highlands. Let's go.
Highlands, let's
Kelly, we don't
go.
want you to go. The girls, you guys
Well,
don't want to go.
obviously she wants someone who has never danced here. Take both of my kids' place.
No, the kids want to dance.
Should I do that? No.
Did you just sit here and say that my daughter looks miserable? So maybe we should put Kalani in her place.
No, I never said
Yes, you most certainly
that.
did.
No, I didn't.
Did it, dingbat?
Listen, I said, Brooke, is your mother
Get
speaking
your
for you?
finger
Do you
out
want to
of
be
my face. Girls out the room.
She starts biting her.
Out the room. Get away from me. Out the room. Girls, out of the room. Right now. Girls, out of the room. All of you, out of the room. Now, out of the room. Maddie, you too. All of you out of the room.
Christy.
all the crazy?
No, I'm not crazy. You're eating my face.
Gotta get out of the room. Girls, gotta get out of the room. No, absolutely not. Got to call the police right now.
Go ahead. You were coming at me.
I was not looking. I was over this way. That's ridiculous. You know what? That's ridiculous.
All the kids
One
crying.
second, just a second.
We've had knockdown, drag out, screaming battles before, but we've never been physical with one another.
It's a
Hi,
lie.
my name is Abby Lee Miller.
I love this part.
And a woman just grabbed and pulled my hair and scratched my face.
She's going like this to me and pushing me into the thing, so I pulled her hair
I know the woman. And I want to file a report.
in my face. 500-pound hog pretending to eat me.
She yanked
That
my
was
hair,
fucked
she scratched, like I don't know, it happened so fast. There were no weapons.
Just wait.
I don't know where security is because
The
they
cop
certainly weren't
combo.
helping me.
If she wants a student that she's never trained, she doesn't deserve you guys, because you have been loyal to her since you were 2.
There's a dance competition going on and it's underneath the stage. I had to take like a freight elevator. It's in the dressing rooms.
You need to leave now. We'll get the rest of your stuff. You need to leave now. Trust me. Now, I'm gonna get your girls.
Holly is in principal
To go
mode.
now. You gotta go now.
They're trying to remove her from the premises. They're getting her stuff packed up.
Okay, Paige and Brooke, go bring your shoes. Your shoes are gonna be checking. We'll get her stuff later. Just let her take the girls out.
She's white. She has a black
This
and gold
part.
dress on, and she has short, like a haircut that's like cool and trendy. Like it's long in the front and short in the back.
The way she's calling the police on her and says she has like a haircut that's like cool and trendy. It's like short and long in the front. And then them cutting to Kelly's haircut. This is television. This is television. I'm gonna run that back just so you guys can really appreciate it.
White, she has a black and gold dress on, and she has short, like a haircut that's like cool and trendy, like it's long in the front and short in the back.
Oh, you want our animals come check you out or no? No?
No, if it was like my knee or my foot, absolutely.
He didn't ask.
Kelly, you have done this to me and to my dance company time and time again. I am finished. Now we're gonna reblock the number and nobody is ever gonna know that your two kids were in it in the first place. Come on, we gotta walk. Let's go, let's go.
Okay, judges, we are now going to entry number 1.
Okay, so there is the Kelly and Abby fight, and Kelly was charged with assault after the brawl was aired on Lifetime. Kelly was charged with assault on the dance teacher. Kelly alleged that production provoked their backstage hair-pulling argument with Abby to force Kelly off the show, and then detained her from fleeing in order to press charges. Abby did press charges of misdemeanor assault, which were later dropped. So then, Kelly had a $5 million lawsuit for defamation of character, emotional distress and negligence, a breach of contract, but that was beset with problems from the beginning. A California judge ruled to dismiss Kelly's claim of emotional duresses and defamation, citing that Kelly signed a contract with the show agreeing to be portrayed at the producer's discretion, and the judge did not find evidence that she was forced into acting. Kelly claims she hadn't been able to quit without violating her contract, therefore finding herself liable to a lawsuit from the production company. Kelly also argued that Dance Mom made her look like a drunk, a bad mother, and other untrue likenesses courtesy of Abby's scathing commentary. The presiding judge disagreed that Abby's opinions concerning Kelly or her conduct would be taken at face value to distort her image. The judge also dismissed portions of a suit Kelly's daughter Paige Hyland filed, which claimed that Abby's treatment caused her extreme emotional distress resulting in panic attacks. The judge chalked it up to normal teenage emotion. However, the judge allowed Kelly's case for negligence and breach of contract to go forward. Among the allegations was that Kelly and her daughters Brooke and Paige were owed money by the producers. Kelly was also seeking to recoup money after the floors in her house were damaged during filming. After all that, the two parties settled out of court. Kelly agreed to drop the suit in exchange for the production company replaced her hardwood floors at $17,000. So that is the Kelly Abby lawsuit drama. There's not a ton more than that, but I thought it was funny that they replaced her hardwood floors. Yes, floors in her house. I guess they were filming in her house and she was upset that the floors were damaged. Untrue likeness, cool trendy haircut. So Abby says that she started having financial issues when the show started airing because parents that were not on the show started leaving the studio because they felt like their kids weren't getting enough attention. JB Morrissey, I was just talking about you at the beginning. You can ask anybody. We literally looked at your channel and I talked about how we really had like a collaborative girl boss moment and we're like working together, and you sent me so much helpful shit, which we're actually about to look at. Perfect timing. So anyway, Abby says that she started having financial issues because people are leaving the studio because they're like, my kid's not on TV, my kid doesn't get enough attention, blah, 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 whatever. And then she was also saying that the parents that were on the show weren't paying their bills at the studio, which I can kind of get because like if you're on TV, you're not going to pay to be there, you know? But I also get none of them are getting paid that much to be on the show, so I can see where Abby would be having financial issues. Well, she didn't say she started having them, but she was saying that that was an effect of the show, is that it made her finances worse, which is interesting. Love you, JB Morris. So it's interesting that you'd think being on TV makes you rich, but apparently if you don't have a good contract, it makes you poor. Producers should have paid for the kids' classes during filming. Exactly. This is a mess of her own making. So I just wanted to give some Abby career details of so the show happens in 2011. She doesn't start getting in trouble with the law until a few years later. So what's going on at the beginning of the show? This is on the game. 2014, 3 spin-offs of Dance Moms are Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, which ran for 2 seasons, Dance Moms Miami, and Dance Moms Abby's Studio Rescue. The latter only ran for 7 episodes. She has also been a guest judge on Dancing with the Stars. One of the questions in the game, it's going to ask you, which one of these is not one of her shows? These are her shows. So, Miller is also a judge on Dancing with the Stars, and she published a book, Everything I Learned About Life, I Learned in Dance Class. That's what JB Morrison read and took extensive notes on to help make her YouTube videos. Those JB Morrison's videos go into a lot more of like the show lore and like plot lines and like Abby lore and things like that. We're mainly going to be talking about legal stuff from now on. So 2015, she opened a new studio in LA called ALDCLA. In 2017, she announced that she had quit the series, but then she ended up coming back to the series. So we'll talk about all of her legal stuff that happened during this time. So 2015, this is when her legal troubles start. Remember, she has already filed for bankruptcy. She is already having financial issues. She filed for bankruptcy before the show even started. And then on October 13th, 2015, Miller was indicted by the Department of Justice for fraud for creating a secret bank account between 2012 to 2013 used to hide income from master classes, TV deals, merchandise sales, in addition to failing to file the required monthly reports of income with the bankruptcy court for 13 months. So when you file bankruptcy, you have to report your income and be paying off your debts. So the government has to know how much money you're making and that you're making your payments. If you don't tell the government that you're making that money, that's illegal because you filed for bankruptcy and you agreed to these terms and conditions. So she was indicted for bankruptcy fraud, concealment of bankruptcy assets and false bankruptcy declarations, and hiding some $755,000. If found guilty, she could have faced a fine of $250,000 and up to 5 years in prison. So she's in a wheelchair now? Yeah, we're going to talk about everything. So this is what she originally got in trouble for. So, here is a PDF. Thank you to JB Morrissey who helped me find this. This is filed on October 13th, 2015. This is the indictment. I'm not going to read the whole thing. This is 34 pages, but I'll read the beginning. A voluntary bankruptcy case has begun with the filing of bankruptcy. Actually, this is really boring. I'm not going to read this, but you can see here's the official document, just so you know I'm not lying, I guess, but it's real. That's the actual indictment. So some more details about the case. Like we said, in 2010, she had filed for bankruptcy, and then she was accused of those secret accounts. She even went as far as enlisting friends to quietly transport large amounts of cash and luggage to hide it from authorities. She ended up pleading not guilty and delayed her fraud case as long as what was permitted by law, filing a total of 5 extensions. So she was really not trying to deal with this. Like, she pled guilty, but then she just like kept kicking the can down the road. So she pled guilty June 2016. This is unlike the Jen Shah case that we talked about the other week. She said, yeah, I did that shit. So she pled guilty to charges against her. She admits to concealing income and making false declarations in her bankruptcy case. So this episode aired on August 5th, 2016. I find it hilarious that she pleads guilty to fraud, she's awaiting sentencing, and then she goes on the Eric Andre show. I don't know if y'all know who Eric Andre is, but like, people say they put Australian Cass in Mackenzie Ziegler's suitcase. So we're going to get to that. I think that they did. If you are awaiting trial, why would you go on the Eric Andre show? This I had to show you, and I wanted... So I know this seems like an abrupt transition. Like, we're talking about the case, and now she's on Eric Andre. I did this on purpose, because I want you to see, like, why did she do this? Why would you go... Like, what? You're in the middle of this case, and you go on Eric Andre?
You know her from Dance Moms. Please give it up for Abby Lee Miller!
Like dirty here, huh? What was that about?
I'm on a new medicine.
Are you okay? Seriously.
I like that.
Would you describe yourself as the Carrot Top of dance?
No.
I love how Hannibal Buress doesn't sit down for the interviews. He's just standing there.
Oh.
So you teach little monkeys to dance, like little trained monkeys?
They're not trained monkeys. They're very successful children.
Very successful children.
I don't slap them around.
You said in my notes you hit one of them or something.
let's change the subject.
It's so awkward.
This is my lunch break.
The hot dog drone that he's cutting.
So anyway, pinks. Do you like pinks? Hot dogs?
I went
They
to
don't look like pink.
a hot dog. I went to a hot dog.
She met her
All right,
match
I'm outta
this day.
here.
How long is this show?
I'm out of here. Later, y'all.
He didn't see the opening.
She absolutely thought this was gonna be like Jimmy Fallon. I don't know if her agent booked this for her as like a mean prank, but this is so funny.
You owed $400,000 to the IRS? And now it's time for one of the 7 deadly sins.
The way he just brings that up and then moves on. What is happening? I'm so scared.
Oh,
is he lighting a joint right
now?
Am I allowed to leave? So yeah, I know that was like the really most abrupt transition of all time, but I just like, I wanted it to be as abrupt for you as it was for me and her. She's being so calm, it's crazy. Her being uncomfortable brings me so much joy. I just needed you guys to see this. It's very, very funny. If you are on TikTok and you want to see the clips, you just have to come to Twitch. It's free. I've been saying this for months. Anyway, sentencing was originally set for October 11th, 2016. Then it got postponed 3 times. First to January, then to February, then to May. So how this works is you might be like, Mr. Dackett, I thought you said she pleaded guilty. You plead guilty, and then you have to wait, and then you get sentenced later, especially if you are out on bail, because they like don't have that much motivation. So it takes a while for them to actually decide what your punishment is going to be. So this article was published January 20th, 2017. So this is not when she got sentenced. This was on the postponal. So Miller made a major concession on an unrelated charge that she also pleaded guilty to in June, sneaking $120,000 in foreign currency into the country from Australia in 2014. Miller agreed to forfeit that money, which she previously sought to avoid. In return, prosecutors won't ask the judge to enhance Miller's sentence for using children to help in that scheme. We don't know which children, but I think it was probably Maddie or Mackenzie. Prosecutors can't comment on that, and they haven't named the children. They've said in court documents that Miller divvied up the money and hid it in the luggage of others in her party to avoid federal law requiring people to report bringing in more than $10,000 in foreign currency into the country. Christy said it was Maddie and Mackenzie. Damn. I bet someone tried to explain the show. She wouldn't listen to what they were saying and just said yes, probably with the Eric Andre show. So this is from the court documents. This was filed January 12th, 2017. I got this from JB Morrison. These are her annotations. So it literally says, Miller used other members of the trip to transport Australian currency into U.S. in violation of U.S. structuring laws under Title 31. The U.S. estimates the equivalent of $120,000 in Australian currency was transported. And it says Miller was quick to hide the money after she returned from Australia, when she emailed her banker in 2014 and said, "We have all this cash. I need a little money laundering." In an email? An email? An email? So money laundering is when I will explain this. I love explaining money laundering because every time someone explains it, it's so confusing, but I have a good way to explain it. Now I hope you understand. But anyway, money laundering is when you got some money doing something you shouldn't have done. Whether you got it for selling drugs, you smuggled it into the country, whatever. You have money that you shouldn't have, and you need to make it clean money, because if you go and deposit that into a bank, the bank is going to be like, girl, where the fuck did you get this? Did you pay taxes on this? And like, we don't want that because we got that money from doing crime. So what money laundering is you clean your money. So let's say I'm going to use, like, let's say I was selling drugs and I make $100,000 doing that. And I'm like, fuck, I need to clean this money so I can put it in the bank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a strip club, because strip clubs have lots of cash in them. Then I can take that $100,000 to the bank and be like, hey, I made this $100,000 at the strip club, so that's where I made it, and that's legal, so that's fine. So then the bank is like, cool, that sounds fine, I'll deposit it, like, we don't need to tell the government, let's just do this thing. That's what money laundering is basically putting your illegal money through something legal so that you can put it in the bank and that no one cares. But that whole thing that I just described is obviously very much illegal. It's the same as a millionaire paying thousands in modern art. Like a mattress store. I consider it Wednesday evening my girl's night. It is your girl's night. So, some other Reddit lore about the money smuggling. This is what someone on Reddit wrote. They said, I don't know what skeletons Melissa has in her closet, but in regarding the Australia thing, Melissa is mainly suspected of helping Abby bring in large amounts of undeclared foreign cash by hiding it in her and her daughter's luggage when they return from overseas meet and greets. Bringing in foreign money is not illegal. Any large amount, over $10,000, just needs to be declared to customs. So when you come in the country, you're going to be like, hey, here's my money, so that they know what the fuck's going on. But she didn't do that. She hid it in the suitcase. Abby wouldn't want to do that for fear of losing a chunk of this money to the banks that she owed money to when she fraudulently filed bankruptcy. So Abby didn't want to declare this money partially because she didn't want to pay taxes, and partially because this money would have been taken to pay off her debts that she still owed. The suspicion is that Melissa just held onto the cash instead of returning it to Abby. It's impossible for Abby to try and collect it legally because to do so would be admitting her own part in the scheme. Imagine two burglars arguing over how to split the loot. It's not like one can sue the other, so all the threatening is just hot air. So that's why people think that Melissa is involved. This is a random TikTok that I found on the internet, but it includes a clip of Melissa that I find to be very relevant. Why isn't this working? Let me try. Oh, why isn't it working? Anyway, for some reason it's not pulling up the video. I don't know why that happened. But basically, it's a clip from the show where Abby and Melissa are arguing. It's in a way later season, like after all this is kind of starting to happen, I guess, or something. Like after the Australia thing happened, but I don't think they've gotten caught. Abby and Melissa are arguing, and Melissa's like, you don't want to go there with me. I know so much. I know so much. And it gets really tense. So that's why I think it's true. Already knew what it was. The whale already knew what it was. People are fighting in the chat. Anyway, so published February 24th, 2017. Abby Lee Miller's possible prison sentencing is postponed again. So on Friday, again, written in February 2017, the Dance Moms star learned that her fate won't be determined quite yet. According to court documents obtained by People, Miller's case is being pushed to a later date per the government's wishes and the Attorney General asking that it be moved to the earliest possible date. The new date to replace Friday's hearing has yet to be rescheduled. Also within court documents, Miller has been granted permission to travel abroad to Mexico for business opportunities, for apparently a dance convention and speaking engagement. The business opportunities would require Miss Miller to travel from Cancun from March 3rd to 7th. If permitted travel, Miss Miller will provide government in advance the details of her business trip. The government has no objection to this motion. This is really common if you're awaiting trial. There's certain rules and you have to tell them where you are and what you're doing and what's going on. The new travel request comes just a few days after Miller traveled to London from February 16th to 20th and then to Newcastle for business. So Abby Lee Miller is still working and is still on the move. So Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. This is from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District of Pennsylvania. The title of the article is Former Dance Mom Star Sentenced to Prison, Fined for Hiding Assets and Illegally Transporting Foreign Currency into the U.S. The article says, reality television performer Abigail Lee Miller has been sentenced in federal court to 1 year and a day incarceration on her conviction of concealing assets from the bankruptcy court and 1 count of failing to report international currency transaction. Acting United States Attorney Sue S. Song announced today. In addition, the court imposed 2 years supervised release and a $120,000 money judgment and a $40,000 fine. Chief United States District Judge Joy Flowers Conti imposed this sentence on Miller. And then it just kind of goes through some of the details of the case that we already talked about in this article from the government. So, Abby Lee, this is published on May 19th, 2017. So literally just a couple days after her sentencing, this article says, Abby Lee Miller suggests Dance Moms mothers brought Australian money into the U.S. Former Dance Moms reality TV star Abby Lee Miller says the $120,000 she's accused of smuggling into the U.S. was not hers and she hasn't seen it since coming back. My attorney said if I hadn't seen it in 3 years, it's not mine, Miller said in a Friday interview on the Wendy Williams show. I should have found a clip of that. According to Miller, several dances from the show, along with their equally famous mothers, were in Australia for a publicity event. She said that the tickets to attend the masterclass conference were purchased electronically online during the registration process, and that goes straight to the bank. The moms were out in the lobby area selling merchandise, taking pictures. Noting these transactions were made in cash, they were told you can't get a credit card machine in other countries unless you have a bank account in that country and you rent them from the bank. Miller, who was sentenced Tuesday to a year and a day in prison, like we said, let me skip some of this. By law, all travelers carrying in excess of $10,000 must declare at customs. Asked if people in her group traveling for the event were carrying money for her, Miller said that's debatable. Why does she keep going in the media and talking? And she said, I can show you all the moms' 1099s for what they made. So for some reason, that one extra day is uncalled for. I think it's because felonies are things that are more than a year in prison. So I think they do the extra day to make that mark. It really gives extra weight to the moms better have my money bit. That's debatable. She's fucking crazy. My favorite thing is her documenting her entire trip leading up to the prison. We'll be watching that momentarily. On July 12, 2017, Miller reported to the Victorial Federal Correction Institution in Victoria, California to begin serving her prison sentence. She revealed what her last meal was before prison. She said, Red Lobster, because I like the biscuits. It's valid. The whole show is just incriminating evidence. Okay, so here is a video of her going to jail. Let me skip to minute 30.
Do you have any more passion or any more desire? There's a lot for them.
How long are your streams usually? Like an hour 45. We're almost done.
Okay, guys. Peace out. Do not rent my new car. Okay. Okay, guys.
They're filming. Love that.
So prepare for you every day.
Stop taking selfies. Abby's going to jail. So fucking funny.
Wait, I'm panicked about the French onion dip. I'm gonna freak out. Do we know where the French onion dip is? No. No. Dee said it was in here. Oh, we were supposed to have this book. Somebody bought it for me. This is a book called White Collar Club. Before embarking on your journey to Club Fed, you may be pleasantly surprised to find out the following similarities to Club Med. Everyone arrives
So
single.
funny.
Food is inclusive, as are all activities. Everyone is on vacation from work and family. No cash is needed or accepted. Dress code is casual and comfy.
Yeah, totally.
Most are shy at first and eventually leap into the joint activities. You meet lots of new people from all types of backgrounds. People bicker over TV channel choices. Residents complain about minor things. No cash tipping allowed. Hey, Call. Keep me in your prayers and tell your mom to light a candle.
Oh, of course. Yeah, Mom's coming over tonight, spend the night, and yeah, because she'll want all your info to
She was sentenced to a year.
Yes.
Because she is really worried too about you crying, you know. So
But we love you. We'll have you in our thoughts and prayers.
Okay.
I know. Bye. Okay.
I love you.
Okay, I would be dramatic if I was going to prison, so I can't even shade her. I'd be being way worse.
I just wish that the world, every
No,
child
she's
who's ever
alive.
watched, and every parent who sat there and watched with their kids, they realize that I did something that was good, from a good place in my heart.
I want to skip this part. I don't care.
Children, let's not forget the wonderful things.
This is her eating mac and cheese.
Just take $200 with you. No cash. Just get the cashier's check and they'll take it to it right away. Okay. And I can't find my passport. I thought I put it with the jewelry.
I don't think you need your passport for prison.
They have a list. There's some bottles in there that are empty. Yeah, but they need to have those stuff. They've had a list 100 times. I'm gonna have a hard time with my nails with these earrings. Hard time what? With my nails, with my earrings. Like putting these little posts, these little tiny.
Her eating mac and cheese with her hands, going into prison. Oh, she got a spoon. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I would leave my jewelry at home and make sure my nails were removed. Exactly.
It looks like you let us know.
You guys here for?
We're turning Ms. Miller in?
Miss Miller?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's her reporting to jail. So March 2018, after serving approximately 8 months of her sentence, she is released from prison and transferred to a residential reentry center in Long Beach, California, to complete the remainder of her sentence. And then in April 2018, she is diagnosed with Burkitt lymphoma, a type of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, after a spinal surgery. In September of that year, her lymphoma went into remission and she began physical therapy to learn how to walk again. Then May 2018, she is released from the residential reentry center, marking the completion of her prison sentence. And then following her release, she returns to the public eye, makes several appearances on talk shows, sharing her experience in prison and discussing her plans for the future. And then season 8 of Dance Moms picks up June 2019. So they really just like took a year off while she was in prison. And then here is her talking about her prison sentence.
We're going to move on now to our GMA cover story. Dance Mom star Abby Lee Miller out of prison now, back to make her return to TV. And she spoke with Paula Ferris about surviving a difficult health battle behind bars. Hey, Paula.
Hey there, George. Good morning, everyone. So Abby Lee survived prison. She beat cancer. She's been through a lot. But when I asked her specifically how prison had changed her, she says, you don't want to know. But then she detailed how she was threatened and
You don't want to
mistreated
know.
during her
Goes
time
into great
behind
detail.
bars.
Too sloppy. Get up in the air on that.
This morning, the hard-charging, larger-than-life Dance Mom star Abby Lee Miller,
And everybody's watching you cry. Save your tears for the pillow.
getting candid about her 8 months in prison for bankruptcy fraud.
How does an experience like that change you personally?
It's a joke. Wouldn't I have done better teaching underprivileged children to dance or
What
just
underprivileged
working?
children?
You know, find me, whatever. It's absolutely asinine, the entire thing.
Are you treated any different because you are a quote-unquote celebrity?
I was, by the guards, by the prison system. Absolutely.
Did you ever feel threatened in prison?
Only by the staff, by the guards. I was, where's that dance lady? Where's that TV star lady? We're going to get her.
They said that they were going to
Yeah, they
get
come
you.
into your room, they take your locker, they dump everything out of it, they take red soda pop and shake it up and spray it all over your clothes. When a man or somebody, a woman, in power screams the F word
This
at
is
you
real,
over and over
unfortunately.
and over again, to me that's offensive.
Abolitionist Abby.
That's violent to me. And that went on a lot. Trying to pull my eyelashes off that were extensions.
They were pulling your
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, as someone with eyelash extensions, if I knew I had to report to prison, I would get them taken off and get a tint and a lift. Like, obviously, you're not gonna go in there looking your worst, but get that shit taken off.
The first day I went in, and she kicked my bed and she screamed at me.
The Federal Bureau of Prisons would not comment specifically on Miller's allegations, citing inmate privacy, but in a statement to ABC News said that it provides, quote, a safe, secure, and humane...
Okay, so I just kind of wanted to see you. I wanted you to see her post-prison and talking about it, and then I couldn't not include this. This is from season 8. This is my favorite moment of television ever. This is where Abby runs away after being told to put her phone away. This is season 8, episode 16, and then we're gonna talk about her leaving the show, and that's gonna be her last thing. So this is my favorite clip.
This is it. This is nationals. There's a lot of people gunning for us, but we've worked hard all season long towards a victory at nationals. And today, that's what we're doing.
You preach theater etiquette to my kids, put your phone away. You preach theater etiquette, put it away.
Her just rolling her chair out and leaving sends me every time. The reverse.
I don't know, I think I'm gonna go to Baskin Robbins.
I think I'm gonna go to Baskin Robbins.
This is nationals. I know Abby's leaving. I don't get it.
She's heading towards an ice cream shop. Ice cream shop? She's heading that way. Mal's saying she's going to the ice cream shop.
It's a little disheartening to know that this solo is such a big deal. I mean, Presley's dreamed about this moment since she was 6 years old. And then you leave and you don't even watch.
So funny.
There she is, right there. We're going to have to speed up a little. She's zooming, dude.
The camera operator, she's zooming, dude.
Next up, competing for title, Presley Annabelle.
Al lost her, she's hauling ass.
Al lost her, she's hauling.
She went across the street, and in amongst all that people, I lost track. I couldn't keep up.
She's hauling ass. So I just really needed you to see that clip of her, like, post-prison Dance Moms. It's wild to me. And then on May 4th, 2020, Abby posted on Instagram and said, 9 years ago, we were stuck in Arizona filming Dance Moms. Satan stuck a pen in my hand insisting that I sign a contract. I was at the competition, literally in front of a stage, rehearsing a routine. I was kind of busy, but the show must go on, right? I did my 8 seasons, 2 spin-offs, and now a new self-contained competition show in the midst of our global pandemic. Thank you, Lifetime, for an incredible run, all I have learned, but I have decided to move on and not extend my agreement. The next few weeks will be about exploring new projects at a new home. It's an exciting time and more announcements to come. So, they weren't prepared to go home. So she left Dance Moms, and that's what she's doing today. I don't really know. Let's play the game. All right, which game theme do we want to do? Let's do Jungle. I like the music best. Did she ever pay her taxes, though? I think she's on a payment plan. Where is Abby? Here. I'll let you guys go ahead and do the game. So, while I Google, where is Abby Lee Miller now? So, you can play this game on your phone, in a new tab, on an iPad, whatever. You don't have to make an account. You don't have to give me your email. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to do anything of that sort. That is not what we're doing here. I just want you all to play this fun little trivia game. So, I just put the directions in the chat. You can go to join.nearpod.com and put in the code 7GV9K. 7GV9K. I'll give you a couple seconds to join the game while we Google where is Abby Lee Miller today. I always want to put an E in Abby. She makes rare public appearances. She teaches children to dance via Zoom. Did Abby Lee pay her taxes? All you can find is old stuff. Yeah, I would assume she's still on a payment plan. I can't find anything new about her taxes. All I can find is old stuff. So that's where Miss Abby Lee Miller is today, is I guess teaching children to dance on Zoom. I'm going to give the code one more time and then we'll get started. The code is 7GV9K. My daughter's old dance school just hosted her for workshops like last month, so I guess she's just being a dance teacher now. I'd give her both my emails and social probably. Glad to know. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and, holy shit, there's 133 people on the game. This has been a very engaged stream topic. Oh, I forgot to put what we're doing next week, but I haven't decided yet, so I guess that's good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit start on the game. If you're not in yet, it'll still let you join. The game grades you on if your answer is correct and how quickly you answer. So if you are getting them all right, but you're not winning, that's why you have to be quicker. Boom, I hit start. The code, it's also at the top of my screen, 7GV9K. Who did we learn about today? Join.nearpod.com and the code is 7GV9K. I can do a poll. I'll do a poll about the topic for next week. Let me come up with some ideas real quick. Oh my God, I have 8 text messages. Aw, Grass is at Chili's. I accidentally selected 47 instead of 14. I'm sorry. I have done John and Kate plus 8. That was a couple weeks ago. Allie Rose, thanks for subscribing with Prime. I'm hungry. Abby started choreographing when she was 14. Duggar Family has been done, but I didn't talk about the Josh stuff because there's a lot of other people that talked about that and it's just really sensitive and triggering and I wanted it to be a fun time. And I didn't want to bring up bad memes for people, you know? But there is a Duggar one. That one's on YouTube as well. I know some people, I'm going to turn this down. I know some people kind of miss when I did exclusively history stuff, but I must say I'm having such a fun time with this kind of niche pop culture-y vibe. And it's been really good for engagement. So it seems like you guys are having a fun time too. First stream, loved it. Thanks, Caitlin. So, who were the producers looking for in auditions? I had a Cuban sandwich for dinner. That sounds good. Maybe I should just order that instead of cooking. She was 14 when she started choreographing. Who are the producers looking for in auditions? Y'all are slow today. Feels like mega gossip. It's so fun. What's your YouTube channel? A Walmart parking lot. Why is it stuck? Ruh-roh. Why is it stuck? There it goes. It was moms. They were looking for moms when they were casting. I don't know how to do Bama Rush. My 1-year-old loves your streams. Oh my God, slay. What was the inappropriate gift that Abby gifted the dancers that we watched the TikTok about? Is this like a quiz? It's a trivia game at the end. We don't win anything. I'm always haunted by the care and keeping of you book. That TikTok is how I knew of this stream. Fun. Oh, my head hurts. I did have a stream about college Greek life, if you want to watch that. And I talk about the machine at Alabama in that stream. I do have a history of Barbie. I've done history of Barbie. It's on YouTube. Abby pressed charges against which mom? And I posted their pics for you. I can do pictures. Isn't that fun? Love the pictures. There hasn't been another time it was really like applicable. The Theranos girl. I want to do that one. My sister was really hurt by that. She was obsessed with her. Which of the following was not a spinoff of Dance Moms? I'll give you a hint. Dance Moms Resurrection was when she was back from prison, and that was season 8. So that one's not the right answer. I'm very bad at this. Valid. Didn't Sia have a role in one of the girls' lives? Yes, it was Maddie. There's a lot going on there. I don't really know that much about it. Why is my computer being so slow tonight? That's fucking lame. The answer that was not in a real show was Dance Moms, Moms Take the Stage. That never happened. We wish. How did Abby plead? Innocent or guilty? But I want to see the moms take the stage. Sia was like obsessed with Maddie, yes. Angel, she pleaded Angel. Let me know how I'm in last place. Been there. Been there. Y'all read so fast. I'm a fast reader. I think there's like 1 or 2 more questions. What was Abby's last meal pre-prison? I actually don't know what I want to stream about next week, so I can't do a poll yet. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'll talk about. It'll be a surprise, I guess. Maxi Boss has some great Dance Moms content. Yes, that is true. I chose Chili's for you. I'm glad. I'm so glad. I miss Sister Wives. Me too. I miss Sister Wives so much. What about the rise of reality after the last strike? I did History of Reality TV. I love when y'all suggest things that I've already done because it shows me that we're very much on the same wavelength, and that makes me very happy. How long did Abby serve in prison? Actually, in the prison. I have done a John and Kate Gosselin ordeal. Sister Wives was my first stream. It was on my birthday too. Bus driver, steady on the road. There were so many iconic clips that we just like didn't have time to watch all of them. There's just so many good ones, you know? Alrighty, nice job in first place, a Dance Mom parking lot. Then we have Unstable Garage, Rosa Parks. They did me a wrong for that. Emily, Stephanie, Nail Polishless, Stolen Trees, Tanya Harding, Shoelace, Emma, Haley, Lizard Beth, and I will scroll through the rest. Nice job. We have so many people here tonight. We have 208 people on the game. I think that might be like some of the most we've ever had. Loving the engagement tonight. Lots of us here. But thank you so much for being here. Next week, I'm not sure what we'll be talking about, but my options will probably either do Mary Cosby from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I've also been thinking about doing the LuLaRoe. So, LuLaRoe might be the topic for next week. So, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go make dinner. This was super fun. Oh, a lot of people are saying Mary Cosby and a lot of people are saying LuLaRoe. We'll see. I'll do a little research on both. No notes, but watched and I've truly enjoyed. I'm glad you did, Lena. Okay, I'm going to go make some dinner. Have a great night. I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. I'm here every single week, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern to talk about something. I'll see you next week. Bye. I'm going to turn off TikTok and now I'm going to turn off Twitch. Good night.